Stand with 3D PT. A while ago I actually did a project with my class where I had them make cookie cutters in TinkerCAD, which is a really simple, fun activity to really build your skills on. So as always, drop a ruler onto your build plate, and this will keep your dimensions going. You could also use the letter R. Do this 160 millimeters by 160. Get about, let's make it 5 thick. Lots of segments. Lots of bevels. Or I'm sorry, lots of sides. Let's do no bevel. So this will have a sharp front part on the edge. And I'm going to change the color as well. Actually, not to green. Next thing I want to do, I want to make this so it makes a divider when I do this. So, 10. $160. And to center it, I'm going to use the centering tool, or use a line. Center that perfectly. Duplicate, hold the shift key. Group that. And actually is going to get pretty close to what I want, so occasionally in TinkerCAD your ideas are going to go out the window, so I'm going to ungroup that. Get rid of those letters. Now with this, I could take it and I can mirror it here. Get it roughly where I want, and I can play with the letters here. So it may take a couple tries, but once you have that, go ahead and check it again, validate it. So make that into a hole. You can use the align tool or the letter L and group them. Ta-da! And so this is what I want the top of my hardtack to look like. So let me see if I can change the color to 10-ish. Oops. So this is the shape that'll show up, and this is the cutter for it. And like it. Now that I have the shape of the press that I want for my hardtack cutter, I want to make the cutting ring. And for this, I'm just going to use the tube shape under basic shapes, giving it a radius that's just a little bit bigger. I'm okay with there being a little bit of slop, because I found when you use with like cookie dough or anything, it's going to ooze through in a little bit, so you want to have a little bit of slop in your measurement. Radius is about 5. This one I'm putting I'm going to put a bevel on. If I make it 4, what happens there? That's a bit thinner. And if I go down to 2, that just produces a thicker, heavier ring. Now we're working with hardtack, so we don't need a super thin edge. I'd rather have it just a touch thicker, since I'm working with plastic. Wall is 5 millimeters thick, so. And if I do this right and this is all centered, I could actually print this together and have it come apart in the print. So here's a cookie cutter / hardtack cutter, where this is the ring is the cutter and this is the press that puts a stamp into it. So I finished designing both cookie cutters, and here's the set assembled with the cutter and press. And I actually validated it by basically using a cylinder to virtually test how to look. So this is what I want the hardtack or cookie to look like when it's finished, because it will have 4 sections you can break it into. And I did the same thing with this, made it into this section. Now, if I tried to mold off this, it would be backwards. But here's what it'll look like roughly when it's finished. So to make printing easier, yes, I put just a little bit of space around the bottom. Let's see if I can focus in on that. So yes, I've got about a half a millimeter of space around this. So when I print it, it's going to print all together in one unit with just minimal support with a brim in between. And this is just going to keep it from warping and save me space on a smaller build plate. So I'm going to line this all up. And definitely make sure you center the pieces. And you can tell because the nodes here are going to be gray. Because if you don't, I actually made the mistake one time of not checking and ended up printing the 2 pieces together. So now those are all the way I want them. I'm going to export them. And in Cura, I'm going to switch my printers. Do this on the 5. Get rid of that file. And I'm going to print in PLA. I know everyone's going to ask, is it food safe? Just wash it and sterilize it before you use it. And let's see, 220 there. So it'll be about a 4-hour print. And definitely check inside and check the whole thing. Make sure there's at least some space in between. Now, unfortunately, looking at this one, actually there's a whole brim line, so that's good. That's as close as you ever want it. So I'll go ahead. I gotta put it on flash drive. I'll go ahead and save this file.